you easily build trust within clubs and organizations? And how can you cultivate trust if there is no trust to start with?
Trust and reputation both links together.
Sure.
Okay, so how do you prove your reputation as a person that you can be trustworthy?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's through clubs, through activities that you have done. You done well, you build your reputation.
Yes.
Okay, then you have proven yourself as a credible person, you're a trustworthy person.
Yes.
Then people will trust you. People will automatically introduce you to a person or business associates.
I think you mentioned just now about compromise.
Yeah.
How does that come into the picture?
Humans are not perfect in any way.
Yes.
So you have to compromise and accept. He might be very straightforward or maybe very sarcastic or whatever, but at the end of the day, he's genuine.
Yes.
He's telling you the truth. He's a very honest person.
Yes.
I think you have to give and take lah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. I like that. Yeah.
Of course, if it's not trustworthy and things like that, then there's no way to compromise anymore already.
I think like
Pilihan Raya Negeri ke-12 Sarawak. 82 kerusi Dewan Undangan Negeri dipertandingkan. TVS membawakan data, analisis, persembahan menarik serta informasi tentang kesemua Dewan Undangan Negeri. Berita terkini dan komprehensif. Laporan wartawan di lokasi.
Laporan Odlin Ketedi. Saya Prislajot.
Saya Kaizari Afindi.
Laporan Salasa Safia.
Saya Lukman Muhammad.
Laporan daripada saya Jessica Chun.
Ruben Gomez.
Saya Stutawi. Hari Zainuddin.
Untuk TVS. Untuk TVS.
Sarawak Decides hanya di TVS saluran 122.
Hello there and welcome to TVS Nightline, where you get to know what's going on in Sarawak, its regions and the world. Here with me, Shosha Meto, and let's get to the headlines tonight. Di Parti Pesaka Bumi Putra Bersatu PBB Supreme Council will move towards the renewal of the party by introducing new faces in the upcoming election. This is viral in continuing the party's excellent legacy as the backbone of the Gabungan Party Sarawak or GPS administration.
According to the statement by PBB Secretary General Datuk Sri Alexander Nantalinggi, the meeting discussed several matters including collaborations with GPS component parties to establish a strong and stable government governing Sarawak. To ensure future candidates' credibility and integrity, including incumbents and potential candidates, they will go through a filtration process conducted by the Insolvency Department, the Royal Police Force PDRM, and the Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission MACC. The meeting started at 8 p.m. and went on for more than 2 hours. Also present was the president of PBB, Datuk Patinggi Tan Sri Abang Johari Tun Openg.
The construction of a 680 meters river wall from Kampong Sungai Berdil to Kampong Lintang, which doubles as a waterfront in Kuching, would add in beautifying Sarawak River, while reviving the state's tourism sector in line with the National Recovery Plan (NRP). Now, Chief Minister Datuk Patinggi Tan Sri Abang Johari Tun Openg said the project, which started on February 18, 2019, is expected to be completed in the first quarter of 2022.
Bermakna seluruh kampung seberang Ulu akan mempunyai waterfront yang sudah tentu mempertahankan daripada hakisan pertama, dan keduanya sudah tentu juga akan memberikan keadaan naik taraf keadaan yang ada di kampung-kampung di sini. Pasal ketiga pula ialah kita akan membangunkan pangkalan Lintang yang dianggarkan berharga 3.5 juta dengan kemudahan-kemudahan tertentu termasuklah jetty, floating jetty dan juga kemudahan untuk orang memain jet ski. Dan saya lihat bahawa ini akan menjadi satu daripada tarikan untuk para pelawat kita yang datang di Bandara Kuching.
He said this during a work visit for the construction of Kampung Lintang River Wall on Friday. Additionally, he said that the construction of the river wall will also be able to beautify the villages around the surrounding areas. Commenting further, he said the area will be a new attraction considering that it is close to the suspension bridge project, which received positive reactions from the people. As such, the Chief Minister said the income of boat operators will also increase.
The whole river kita sampai ke Satok akan menjadi lively lah. Baru orang dapat naik tambat. Orang kat honeymoon pun boleh. Actually true, no. I was Minister of Tourism. So you must have something attractive. Jadi orang pun boleh honeymoon situ, visit situ, makan mi Jawa di situ.
On the other hand, Gabungan Party Sarawak or GPS is expected to field a new face in one of the 3 state seats under the Kapit Parliamentary Constituency in the upcoming Sarawak election. This was according to Datuk Sri Alexander Nantalinggi. Nanta, who is GPS Secretary General, however, did not mention which seat would be involved. The 3 state constituencies under Kapit Parliamentary Constituency are Bukit Goram, Katibas and Pelagus. On October 24, Nanta said GPS will contest in all 82 constituencies in the state election. GPS comprises Parti Pusaka Bumiputra Bersatu PBB, Parti Rakyat Sarawak PRS, Sarawak United People's Party SUPP and Progressive Democratic Party PDP. Meanwhile, the cooperation of Native Customary Rights or NCR landowners in Sarawak is needed to ensure the initiative by the Gabungan Party Sarawak or GPS state government to measure these lands for the issuance of title deeds can be continued, as GPS was established to fight for and defend the rights as well as interests of Sarawak. Sarawak Deputy Chief Minister Dato' Amar Awang Tengah Ali Hassan reiterated that GPS consisted of committed leaders who will ensure that the rights of locals in Sarawak would always be protected.
Pemimpin-pemimpin yang komited dan kita bekerjasama dengan kerajaan. Sebab itu kita dapat sedikit sebanyak mengubah keadaan. Dan inilah perjuangan kita. Jadi saudara dan saudara sekalian, jika kerajaan GPS di bawah pimpinan yang amat berhormat Datuk Petinggi Tan Sri Dr. Abang Johari, Abang Haji Openg, Ketua Menteri kita, akan mendapat mandat yang besar. Dan saya penuh yakin kerajaan GPS ini akan mendapat mandat yang besar tiba pilihan raya yang akan datang. Maka usaha-usaha untuk meneruskan kerja-kerja pengukuran tanah adat Bumiputera ini akan kita teruskan sehingga ianya selesai. Dan kita akan mempertahankan, akan terus menjamin hak dan kepentingan masyarakat Bumiputera kita terhadap tanah adat Bumiputera ini. Ini bukan janji, malahan ianya sudah terbukti. Dan ini jaminan kita.
He said this in his speech at the presentation ceremony for the Native Customary Rights NCR Land Title Presentation Ceremony to Syrian Division landowners here today. Meanwhile, these landowners are also reminded not to be easily deceived by the opposition's tactics to deny them the rights to their lands by saying that the government would seize their lands. And now on to the next development. Parti Pesaka Bumiputra Bersatu PBB Vice President Dato' Sri Abdul Karim Rahman Hamzah described the expectation for Chief Minister Dato' Patinggi Tan Sri Abang Johari Tun Openg to compete in Gedong in the upcoming state election as a good decision. This will allow Gedong, a rural area, to develop as the PBB fights for rural development, especially for the Bumiputra community.
He added, with Abang Johari as the candidate, Gedong is considered a lucky area.
Tempat beliau memulakan kerjaya politik membangun sebegitu besar sekali. Satu has developed by leaps and bounds. Dan sebagai Ketua Menteri, kita tahu Ketua Menteri, he has got that Midas touch. Di mana-mana dia pergi, apa-apa dia nak aturkan, ia boleh menjadi. Sebab itulah kalau dia pergi ke gedung, gedung akan meletup. Kalau dia pergi ke tempat lain, tempat itu akan membangun. Jadi mana-mana tempat saja di Sarawak beliau hinggap, it will boom up.
Additionally, Abdul Karim, who is also the Minister of Tourism, Arts and Culture, believes Abang Johari as the Chief Minister not only prioritizes rural development but also development throughout Sarawak. Recently, Gedong incumbent Datuk Naruddin Majais have paved the way for Abang Johari to stand in the seat in the upcoming election. Abang Johari has helmed the Satok seat for 9 terms.
Now, Parti Rakyat Sarawak, or PRS, will be defending the BALEH seat. The seat was left vacant with the demise of the late Tan Sri James Jamut Masing. Hence, its youth chief, Datuk Snodan Lawan, urged the citizens of BALEH to show their utmost support when the candidate is named later for the upcoming state elections.
Yeah, of course. That's our president seat, and we will retain it. We have to retain. We will retain it, and I think tak ada masalah because our late president has won the many term. So saya rasa lah orang berasa simpati lah kepada beliau, and of course the support are still there. Apabila kejadian ini yang tidak diingini, what happens, lagi mereka akan rasa simpati and give the support kepada calon itu. Out of kita sebagai manusia lah, we can understand, and they feel that they have a big loss, so, and they still want him to continue the pembangunan development di BALEH, and they need a good leader, a good wakil rakyat to continue the late Tan Sri punya legacy.
Snowdon also revealed that PRS have submitted 3 names to be considered by the Chief Minister Dato' Patinggi Tan Sri Abang Johari Tun Openg, in which he has the perusal to decide who will be the best candidate to represent BALEH.
Kalau kita lihat Dom BALEH ni very interesting. Ada 2-3 orang yang ingin bertanding. Seperti Deputi Presiden Datuk Desi Salang katakan, ada 2-3 orang ingin bertanding. So 2-3 orang nama itulah yang kita cadangkan. And then it's up to Ketua Menteri untuk melihat, because you see, macam main bola sepak, you must have a reserve player lah. Kalau satu injured, ada reserve. So kita terpaksa hantar 2-3 nama, tetapi terpulang kepada Ketua Menteri untuk memutuskan lah. We have to respect apabila beliau memutuskan, then we have to give full support to it. So saya sarankan kepada semua penyokong-penyokong, sama tak kira di BALEH, whoever yang dipilih akan menjadi calon BALEH must give full support to him, to this person lah.
So it's a him lah.
Be him or her, doesn't matter.
2 or 3 names?
3
names. 3 names.
In the same development, during the previous state election reflected some concerns in the Ngemah seat. Now PRS Youth Chief Dr. Snowden Lawan stated there was only a small majority at the seat where Alexander Vincent was contesting.
This you cannot deny. Ini memang everybody knows the result.
Yes.
Betul tak? It's made public. 990 2011. 5 tahun kemudian 2016 majoriti beliau turun kepada 154. So kalau kita buat matematik kita tahulah. So 990 kepada 154 itu agak jauh jugalah, merosot. So of course sebagai parti dan juga sebagai pengurusi ketua menteri kita melihat dah. Bukan kita mengatakan beliau tidak boleh menang. Mungkin boleh. Tapi kita mesti ada reserve player sekiranya if. Jadi kita kena terpaksa hantar nama ekstra lah. Memang dari peringkat level parti, okey, kalau ikut semua incumbent dicalonkan. Even the late Tan Sri pun ada mengatakan say the same thing. Okay. Now, but of course from time to time dia punya report bertukar sikit lah.
Snowden said re-strategizing is the key to ensuring a win on the seat. Therefore, they are considering all possible ways or methods.
We are a bit worried, of course. Sebagai parti kita mesti mau menang. It's normal. Kita main bola sepak lah, mesti mau menang juga. Kita kena atur kita punya strategi lah, semua thing like that. So we have to look like our player lah. This one masuk dulu ke? Defender mana ke? Midfielder ke? Keeper ke? Masa nanti, this kind of we have a reserve in case lah. So now it's up to Ketua Menteri untuk menilai dan menentukan. So
currently, 2 names have been submitted to be nominated for the Ngemah seat. Snowden, however, welcomes other candidates who are willing to contest as Sarawak practices democracy.
What I love about suits is the way it makes me feel when I'm wearing it. If it doesn't make you feel like $1 million, it's not the right suit for you.
We want to be able to connect our guests who come here to have a feeling of connection between the food that we're serving, the food that we've created, with a memory that you had.
I like how the sun comes in because the French-inspired windows that my parents actually had made specially for this house. It makes you feel connected with nature because of all the greenery outside. The way the house was built, you wouldn't feel as if you are separated, that you're always with someone.
Remarkable Living setiap Sabtu 6.30 petang hanya di TVS saluran 122 Astro dan My TV.
It's really special.
Welcome back to the Nightline with the COVID-19 development. Today, Sarawak recorded a total of 292 COVID-19 infections from 311 cases recorded yesterday. The number of severe infections have also dropped by half, from 10 to 5 cases only. Now, according to the Sarawak Disaster Management Committee, SCMC, this figure was the lowest reported last week.
Kuching remained the only district recording a 3-digit number of infections, standing at 119. Following Kuching are Miri with 34 cases, Bintulu 29, Cebu 23, Sarian 18 and Lembang with 16 cases. 21 districts in Sarawak recorded 1 to 8 new cases, while no new cases were logged in 13 other districts. Meanwhile, 4 deaths were reported last Wednesday involving individuals between 53 to 91 years old who had a history of various diseases.
And now moving on to the next update. More than 6,600 adults in Labuan have been administered with the COVID-19 booster shots as of Wednesday, according to the Labuan COVID-19 Immunization Task Force (CITF). Its chairman Ridwan Ismail said the number represents 9.77% of the total 68,500 adults eligible to receive the booster shot.
The booster shot program was initiated on October 18, where priority was given to healthcare personnel, senior citizens with or without morbidity issues, followed by citizens aged 18 years and above. For those who wishes to receive the booster shot, Ridwan said they should set an appointment with Membedai Health Clinic, Clinic Dr. Tan, Clinic Surya, Clinic Wong and Ung, and Clinic Millennium. He also revealed more than 8,000 children have received the COVID-19 vaccine since the federal government authorized distributions on September 11.
The federal government has approved a grant of 35 million ringgit under Budget 2022 for a new oil palm planting scheme for smallholders.
Deputy Plantation Industries and Commodities Minister Datuk Willy Monjin said the smallholders would also be given high-quality oil palm seedling clones and fertilizers to enable them to boost the output of their small holdings. He said this in his speech when launching the Koperasi Penanaman Sawit Mampan KPSM Daerah Serian Berhad ramp site in Kampung Sabun. In his speech, the Puncak Borneo Member of Parliament also urged the people to continue their support for Gabungan Parti Sarawak, adding that the coalition has proven its ability to form a stable state government since 2018.
And Tabung Haji made more than 1.9 million ringgit of payment for the 2020 financial year to Tabung Baitulmal Sarawak (TBS). The grant for 2020 has shown a significant increase compared to the one made in 2019, which totals to more than 1.6 million ringgit.
The check presentation was witnessed by the Chief Minister Datuk Patinggi Tan Sri Abang Johari Tun Openg at Wisma Bapa Malaysia. Tabung Haji for Sarawak and Sabah region Datin Nur Laila Said presented the mock check to the Yang di-Pertua Sarawak Islamic Council MIS President Datu Misnu Taha. Nur Laila remarked that Tabung Haji have always prioritized the Ummah economy sustainability, and by increasing the zakat payment, the welfare of the people, especially the Asnaf, are taken care for. Also present was Tabung Baitulmal Sarawak General Manager Datuk Abang Muhammad Shibli Abang Muhammad Naili.
A 16-year-old was detained 9 hours after the newborn baby was found behind a house in Song on Thursday morning. The suspect was detained by a team of police from IPD Song at around 6:30 p.m. the same day to facilitate investigations.
Song District Police Chief Deputy Superintendent Ronnie Michael Jalak said previously his team received a distress call from a complainant informing that his sister had heard crying noise coming from the back of their house at 9 o'clock in the morning.
Ekoran daripada penemuan itu, abang suspek kemudian tampil ke Balai Polis Song untuk membuat laporan polis. Bayi lelaki seberat 2.5 kilogram terbabit kemudian dirujuk ke klinik kesihatan Song. Hasil siasatan pihak kami, remaja perempuan yang merupakan adik pengadu akhirnya mengaku bahawa dialah ibu yang melahirkan bayi tersebut.
Based on the preliminary investigation, the suspect admitted to leaving the baby after the baby was born between 7 to 9 a.m. that morning. According to Rowney, the teenage girl has been sent to Kapit Hospital for further treatment. Police are now actively tracking the father of the child to assist in the investigation of the case. The case is being investigated under Section 317 of the Penal Code for the offence of exposure and abandonment of a child under 12 years.
A 47-year-old illegal moneylender was murdered by 3 men who afflicted him with machetes in front of a coffee shop. Investigations found that the victim and suspects were part of 2 gangs that were rivals and had a motive of grudge. Selangor's Police Chief Dato' Arjunaidi Mohammed said 16 individuals aged between 30 to 40 have been arrested and believed to be members of the Chinese gang 24.
The arrest was made in a series of raids, namely in Klang Valley, Ladang and Muar in Johor. The first raid was conducted on November 6, which led to the arrest of 6 men in Klang and Banting, and they were remanded for 7 days before released on police bail on November 13. 4 more were arrested in Johor during the second raid and are currently remanded until November 23. During recent raids in Bandar Baru Sri Petaling, Arjunaidi said the police seized clothes worn by suspects of the murder and more than 19,000 ringgit in cash. Upon further investigation, the police have obtained information on the locations and disposal methods for the weapons and clothes, which were thrown off Kota Bridge into the Klang River.
Menurut cerita rakyat, nama kabong berasal daripada pokok apung atau pokok nipah yang banyak terdapat di kawasan ini. Sektor ekonomi utama bagi masyarakat kabong merupakan perikanan, pertanian serta perniagaan kecil-kecilan yang membolehkan masyarakat setempat memasarkan hasil tersebut ke pasaran luar. Kawasan kabong ini mempunyai keluasan lebih kurang 415 km persegi dan majoriti kaum di sini ialah Melayu, iaitu sejumlah 80% daripada jumlah keseluruhan populasi di daerah kecil kabong. Pesta layang-layang antarabangsa kabong yang disertai lebih 30 buah negara telah berjaya membawa nama daerah kabong ke mata dunia. Pusat Penjajah Kabong dan Pusat Penjajah Simpang 4 Nyabur telah dibina dengan peruntukan sebanyak 1.2 juta ringgit untuk menyediakan kemudahan bagi para penjajah dari Kabong dan sekitarnya menjual hasil jualan mereka.
Thank you for staying with me. And now on to our world affairs. Algerian dairy cattle breeder Brahim Bouicha believes his country can end its very costly milk imports if the government delivers on promises to encourage farmers. The government spends $1.3 billion a year on milk imports, yet it is often unavailable in Algerian shops, reflecting wider problems with domestic food production and distribution in the still largely state-run economy.
With state revenues pressured by lower oil prices and output in recent years, Algeria has had to draw heavily on its foreign currency reserves to finance imports of foodstuffs, including milk, as well as other subsidized goods. With a total annual bill for imported foodstuffs of $19 billion, the government is eager to increase domestic food production as it cautiously moves to reform parts of a largely state-run economy long dominated by oil and gas. Farmers like Bouicha have long complained about high taxes as well as about costly animal feed and bureaucratic hurdles that they say hold back production.
بالنسبة للإنتاج تاع الحليب تاعنا رانا كما يقولوا في أدنى المستويات. مازال ما لحقناش الاكتفاء الذاتي. لماذا؟ لعدة عوامل. كنت نحكي عدة عوامل مثلا مثلا تحويس الأكل مثلا الحشيش الماتير الذار أو ناقص. تروح مثلا تحوس الأعلاف راهي أسعار مرتفعة جدا. الفلاح أو في بعض الأحيان يضطر باش مثلا يبيع مثلا بقرتين أو 3 باش يوكل مثلا لا. لكن ما فيش دعم ما كاينش الدعم من عند الدولة راه ناقص شوية ماهوش يعني بالك يساعدونا شوية في الأعلاف مثل النخالة فيها شوية.
Bouicha also hopes the government will lift its freeze on drilling wells imposed to preserve groundwater reserves. This would help irrigation for grass and winter fodder after recent years of drought. Agriculture Minister Abdelhamid Hamdani has said he wants to increase Algeria's dairy herd to 20,000 cows from 8,000 by 2024. The government currently guarantees a purchase price for milk and offers bonuses for higher production rates. Agriculture already generates 13% of Algeria's economic output and employs 2.5 million people. However, the sector is dependent on rainfall, pays workers poorly, and sees little technological innovation that could stimulate further growth. But state officials fretting over high import bills increasingly see the need for change.
For years, the crystalline blue water and soft sand of South Korea's Sacheonjin beach have been favored by surfers and vacationers seeking a quieter experience than the more crowded options on the east coast. However, fast economic expansion is chewing away at some of South Korea's most popular beaches, a trend that has been exacerbated by climate change, which has brought rising water levels and unpredictable weather. Recent data showed shocking result for the coastal erosion happening at the Sacheonjin beach, where the beach had narrowed to only 3 meters compared to the 40 meters just 2 years ago.
Choi Jong-min, an owner of a guest house, was shocked when high waves washed away major portions of the beach this year, including during a typhoon in August.
여기 도로까지 뭐 이렇게 물이 치고 들어온 적은 없어요. 여기는 태풍이 지나가는 동해를 빠져나가는 태풍이니까 그렇게까지 놓고 이 정도가 지금 최고. 제가 12년째 보고 있지만 가장 가깝게 지금 파도가 오는 그런.
Sacheonjin in the eastern Gangwon province is one of 43 such beaches designated as having serious coastal erosion as of 2020, up from 12 in 2018, according to a survey by the Oceans and Fisheries Ministry. Authorities plan to supply more sand and flattened beaches in the affected areas while devising long-term recovery plans, a local official said. However, some experts said the damage had already been done largely due to early development plans which lacked environmental protections. Early developers had removed large sections of sand dunes to lay a coastal road, while seawalls were built too close to the shore, leading to the erosion of the coastline, according to Kim In-ho, professor who has been leading Gangwon province's survey.
철근 역할을 하면서 이게 모래를 퉁쳐 잡고 있는 건데 이러한 것에 지금 이러한 구조물이 다 들어선 거야. 이러한 구조물이 들어서다 보니까 이게.
Meanwhile, in Samcheok, just south of Sacheonjin, a 2020 study by the Environment Ministry concluded that the beach has shrunk to its smallest level since 2005, with piles of sandbags now protecting the beach and the coastal forests.
자연적인 요인으로는 또 지구 온난화에 따른 해수면 상승으로 인한 부분이 있고요. 두 번째로는 그 해수면 상승과 더불어 내습되는 파랑이 증가되는 부분이 있습니다. 인위적인 요인으로 말씀을 드리면 인위적인 요인의 첫 번째는 그 하천 등에서 공급되는 모래량 감소가 있는데요. 이는 그 하천 개발에 의해서 댐이나 보건설로 인한 그 모래의 차단 부분이 있고 두 번째로는 이제 해안가에 설치되는
That erosion in Samcheok was partly exacerbated by the construction of a floating dock to supply coal to a nearby power plant, and activists fear a planned breakwater at the site could cause further damage by diverting the force of the waves during storm surges to other parts of the beach not protected by the breakwater.
And that concludes TVS Nightlife for tonight. Here with me, Shosha Metro, and I'll see you next time. Have a good weekend.